Our first reading is a continuation of a story where, if you didn't hear what happened in the passage from yesterday, Jezebel decided that the best way for Ahab and their family to obtain the vineyard of Naboth was to set him up so that he was killed, and then they could come in and buy the land. He didn't want to hand it over, give it over, even sell it. And so this is a very despicable act of greed and evil that now Elijah's been alerted to, and he says to him, it's not going to go well. You're going to not be able to hand this over to your descendants, to your sons and your sons' sons. And when anybody in your family dies, they're going to be eaten. If they die in the city, well, that's going to be the dogs. And if they die in the fields, it's going to be the birds. It's not going to go well. Well, Ahab hears this this reality and has a full understanding of the horror of his own sin. And so then the reading continues that he becomes humbled. And in his humility that was demonstrated by his fasting and acts of penance and prayer, that God saw his humility and that he showed him mercy, at least for him, not as much for his descendants. Of course, this is the Old Testament. And I think so many times, especially if we're aware of our own sins, our own faults, that it's hard to believe in God's mercy in those moments. But at the same time, sometimes we need to know the full consequences, the full effects, the full ramifications of our sins in order to understand better why evil is so bad. Evil is evil. And that the only place to go is towards goodness, towards light, towards love. And that any movement in that direction is always welcomed by God. It's very humbling. But at the same time, it's exactly the place we need to be in order to be much more open to fully receive God's love and his mercy. May we be gifted with the many kinds of Elijahs that show us when we have chosen darkness over light. And may we be humbled enough to be open to receive God's mercy.